Hello. So let's take a look at doing degree out of state. I mean, say you have an ambition to do your degree out of state. Um, Generally, this is a great idea for those uh, students who is doing exceptionally well in their academics, like board exams with 95 plus percentage. Um, and we all know that most of us want to study in India's top educational destinations like New Delhi, Calcutta, all these cities actually, Chennai, all these. So I guess this is where um, India as a country invested a lot of facilities for higher education. Also, the state also was very keen in developing and making it as a educational hub. So, having said that, and what is the next step? Um, Typically, students start their preparation at a very early stage, like from the eighth standard. They start going for foundation classes. So, if you're watching this video little late, like say you are at your 10th or something or 11th, don't worry, you still can do. Uh, it's just the fact that you have to work little more hours, like 10 hours, 12 hours. Um, Everyone is familiar with NEET and GMAIN. Um, Apart from that, there are other 14 top entrance exams. But the nice thing with GE and main is these two exams are extremely difficult, and if you can master these two entrance preparation, then you are good enough to write any entrance exam in the country. Okay. Now um, let's look at these entrance exams, the top 14 or something, that is mostly attended by students. For engineering, people write G main exam. Uh, Please note that G main exam is admission to central government funded institutions only. Please note only. Uh, that means you can get into ISER. ISER is not an engineering institution, but it also one of the premier institute for doing a graduation and masters or PhD, whatever, into physics, chemistry, maths, biology, environment, humanities, social science, economics, etc. Then GE Main allows you to get seats in NIT, Triple IT, and other centrally funded institution, for example, CFTI, and 42 plus central universities. Okay, so that's it about Gmain. But Gmain don't give you admission to IIT. So you need to write Gmain plus G advanced to get into 16 IITs in the country. Okay. So this is pretty much about central government. These two. Now what if you want to get admission to a state in the country? We got 28 plus states, right? So here is the catch. Each state has their own entrance test towards all professional degrees. So we will see that as we scroll down. So you need to write those exams also if you want to get admission to each state's professional degrees. Okay, now let's take a look at this one, Vellore Institute of Technology. This is a very famous institute in Tamil Nadu. For that, to get admission to the VIT, you need to write this this entrance exam run by Vellore Institute. Similarly, Manipal is another famous one. You need to write this exam, entrance exam. Then there is Comet Cave, which is Karnataka based. This is more like 150 plus engineering colleges of private in nature. Um, they put together a trust or something where they run a entrance test to fill their management seats. They got 20,000 plus seats. Now I told you about each state in the country has their own professional entrance test, right? For Kannada it is called CET set, Kerala it is called KEAM, Andhra it is called IMSET. So these names differs for each state. Bihar might have something else, Rajasthan might have something else, and Tamil Nadu will have something else. So if you are very keen, you need to write this exam also. That means you wrote G main, so that take care of central government institutes. Then you write, say for example, Kerala KEAM, then that take care of Kerala based engineering colleges that is run by state government. Okay, so you got that. Now scrolling down, you see here additional notes. This is just talking about additional details on JE main, where the central government is funding 1200 colleges, okay, plus NIT 16 of them, triple IT and central universities has 42 plus G advanced will give you another 16 institutes of IIT. Now if you see KEAM, which is Kerala based, they got 150 colleges under their umbrella, and you see here, each state runs its own entrance professional test. It's not just for the engineering alone. They also use for other professions like architecture, agriculture, veterinary, like that. Even pharmacy also. Okay. So that's about it. Now going into architecture. You see here NATA is only a national test. That means you get admission only to central government institutes. If you want to study BArch in Rajasthan, make sure you write the Rajasthan State Professional Entrance Test. Same. Okay, now going on to NEET. NEET is a national level entrance test for both the central government as well as the state government, and you get admission only for MBBS and BDS. That's it. Only MBBS and BDS. For all other profession, you need to write each state's professional entrance test. Now looking at the pharmacy. Pharmacy GPAT is actually a national test. Again, this is only for central government institutes. Okay, and you can read further here for additional comments. Now, what is AIPBT? This is veterinary. This is a all India test, again for central government universities only and institutions only, for veterinary bachelors. Then Indian Army has BSc Nursing entrance test. If you want to pursue that career, IGNOU helps the working nurses to pursue from their existing diploma nursing to bachelor's in nursing. Now defense, as you know, is very premium and prestigious and dignified area of work, and a lot of students try India, and you can be an officer in the forces, army, air force, and navy. Similarly, under in defense, there is a maritime university. What you do is you do a bachelor's in nautical science. You can read this part where you know how to navigate a ship, and the careers are very promising. And under the defense, you got BTech under Navy, sailors recruitment under Navy, and technical entry jobs under Navy. Hotel management. What you do is, if you have a taste for hotel management, you make sure you write this NCH entrance test. It takes care of 14 state government in the Institute of Hotel Management, 21 central institutes, and 15 private. One exam is enough. And law entrance exams. So you can see here that CLAT, this is a national test, and this gives you admission to 14 centrally funded national law universities. Okay, and now it's actually 22, it's not 14. Right now there are 22 NLUs in India. Now what about the private? And those institutes, law institutions that are not run by central government, there's a test for else. This test called LSAT, where other colleges participates, like Amity and all that, and they give you admission after LSAT. And for AILET, this is nothing but admission only into Delhi National Law University, just one institute. And what about Symbiosis and Lloyd? Yes, they got their own entrance test. Make sure you write them. Design. Design, the most prestigious institute is NID and ARC. I put some comments here. Make sure you read these things. Okay. So ARC is very famous and is one of the top-notch um, institute for design. The institution name is ARC Academy of Design, and they run this entrance test. For it's a national level test, and only two campuses are there, Delhi and Jaipur. Okay. Similarly, NID is actually a National Institute of Design, completely supported by Commerce and Industry Ministry, and they get budgetary fund also. Only three campuses. The main one is Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, and Bangalore. Okay. Now comes the another design, more like a fashion oriented. This is also design. Um, this is fashion technology. 17 campuses, and we got two types of test. This is basically to shortlist. This doesn't give you admission, only shortlist. And after say you want to do bachelor's in design, you do the general test, creative test, which is CAT, and then you have to do a real test, which is called situation test. Then only you get admission. Like that, there is another one for master's design. That one is basically group discussion and personal interview. Okay, so that's about the design entrance test. There are three tests based on your interest. I would suggest you write all of them and try to join in NID or AID. If not, one of the top lift institute. Now let's move on to the other types of entrance test. CPT, as you know, is the entrance test to start your career, start your study or course in chartered accountancy. Then there is uh, Agricultural Research Council. You write this exam so that you start your career in, or your graduation in BSc Agriculture. Now we talked about ISER, right? Now ISER. Now you should also, if you're interested, write this KVPY test. This is a scholarship program. There will be aptitude and interview. What it does is you while you do your ISER graduation or post graduation, etc. You get a scholarship. Why government does this is to promote students to take up the science subjects and do research on them. Okay, and if you have a great taste in maths and statistics, please make sure you write the entrance test for Indian Statistical Institute admission and Chennai Mathematical Institute scholarship. Okay, so that's pretty much all this top entrance test. Now, looking at the top careers in our country, this is it. We got close to 12 of them, the top careers. Now, you must have noticed that there's a big fuss since few years about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all that thing, big data. Well, uh, this is a big area. There's a lot of work going on. What it does is pretty much written here. I want you to go through this. But this is the main area. In another 5 to 10 years, there are huge changes coming. Most of those works that is purely done with our memory and assimilation and all that stuff. This can be done better by machines. So the machine will be fed with terabytes of data and a lot of programming, and they can do much better than us. Except few jobs which are creative in nature. Okay, so apart from that, data and scientists do a lot of contribution towards predictions, and their work they are much needed in all these world organizations also. I'm not sure you observe. See, I'm not sure you paid much attention here on the investment banker. These people are basically top-notch MBA graduates. They put up a lot of experience and expertise in financial services and industry and analytical and communication. All these are very critical skill set required for them. These are investment professionals, and they do basically help the organizations, corporations, and business to raise capital, as you know, in the form of securities, stocks, debentures, whatever that thing is. And they also help the companies and corporation for merging and acquisitions. Okay, this is a big field, interesting field, and when not much people opt for defense, but defense is a different game altogether. But if you have these qualities, you can be a you can serve the country with a lot of dignity, and you get a lot of respect also. This is such a amazing job, but I don't know. Not all people can do this unless you are so committed and courageous and ready to give your life for your subordinates and your country. So that's about it. Thank you. Here is a disclaimer. Please read. And on a final note, I trust I put up some sincere efforts here. So that should be of some help to you. I thank you for listening and wish you very best in your career. Bye for now. Take care.